race, not alone by myself, but with you. Though tough times come out my way, that we will rise and become the new ground. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and we say we know IQI, IQI is for you as it has been for me. Everyone shine, everyone shine. All of us is for a reason, for a later we shine. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and this day we know IQI, IQI is for you as it has been for me. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and this day we know IQI, IQI is for you as it has been for me.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to IQI Friday Prop Talk. My name is Lee Yen, and I'm your host this evening. We are broadcasting live from the world number 6 most livable city, Perth, Western Australia. Now, I hope everyone has enjoyed the Australia Day and enjoyed the firework on Wednesday. In Australia, we just celebrate our Australian Day 2 days ago, and I hope everyone have enjoyed that day off. And now looking forward to the weekend ahead, just like myself. Yeah. Now, at my last Friday prop talk, I did mention that the WA is planned for a full border opening from the 5th of February. Unfortunately, that is no longer the case. The full border opening is now delayed based on the health advice, and the full impact of Omicron in Australia is still unknown. So, therefore, the Western Australia government has decided to delay the plan, and therefore, a new hard border will be in place from the 5th of February this year to allow a more safe, compassionate travel into WA and the return of many of the Western Australians as well to back home. Yeah. So since this new announcement has announced, many people, traveler who are planning or is planning to come or have actually planned to return home were quite surprised because they have made that plan and all of a sudden everything's changed. So people get a little bit confused. We hear you. So therefore, this evening, we have invited a special speaker to join us, Eric Lee from World Travel, to join us to provide us with some most recent update with this situation, the current situation, and basically show us how we can, what is the current update about the situation and perhaps what sort of service they can provide to make your return a little bit smoother, because there is so many requirements and bits and pieces that need to be done. So I thought tonight, instead of talking about a different topic, having Eric here to share that knowledge with us will be fantastic. Now, before I invite Eric to the screen, let me just quickly give you an introduction about Eric, basically his background. So Eric joined World Travel since it was established back in 1994. The business is actually locally owned and operated by a Western Australian family, and the founding director is Sandy Lee. And Eric was then promoted to be the general manager in 1996 and continuing the Lee family travel business, dealing with industry major supplier as well as handling customer service, assisting many travelers to customize and plan their dream holidays, whether it's locally here or overseas. So yeah, he has been a very important people in many people holiday plan. For the over 28 years, Eric has always been providing the best value in travel to his client, from honeymoon tours, visiting family and relatives, corporate travel services, and so on. His excellency in customer service and travel planning have earned him many top travel agents awards, such as the Singapore Airline Top Agent Award in WA between 1995 and 2019. That is a long 25 consecutive years that, World Travel been getting this reward. So congratulations to them. Well done for all the great work. And Eric is always passionate about helping the community as well. And he was the business is very proud to be part of the repatriation flight operation. They work alongside the Australia Foreign Affairs and help many families to reunite in Australia in the past 2 years during the COVID pandemic. Now, without further ado, join me welcome Eric. If we can bring Eric to the floor. Hi, good evening, Eric.
Hi,
Thank you so much for joining
Ian.
us this evening.
Thank you so much for inviting us. Along. So hope everyone, having a good evening and had your dinner.
I really appreciate you take the time to join us this evening. And as most of the audience aware, our live will actually broadcast on many different platforms.
That's right.
So if you have any question, do put it in the comment in your in the Facebook. couple of my colleagues will help me to collect all the question and send it to me, because I can only see the IQI Australia main page. So if I miss your question, don't worry, we will get those questions to Eric, and then Eric can actually answer the question directly to you if we miss it on the evening. And we actually this evening have colleagues from Canada and Malaysia joining us. Thank you guys for supporting our Friday Prop Talk. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. So yes, Eric, I mentioned in my opening that there has been some changes with our border openings plan. So yes, initially we are going to open on the 5th, and then now we kind of open but not quite open. So
Yeah,
that's
very
what we kind of
disappointing.
mentioned. Real very disappointing. Yeah. So I guess a lot of people quite confused. What is the new update? What sort of things that people need to do now? I know things are changing on a regular basis. So everything that we talk about today will based on what we know today, and
Mm-hmm.
perhaps tomorrow things will change. That's what
Yep.
Eric is here for. Oswald Travel will be able to assist you if you have or if you need help to plan for your return to Perth. Anyway, back to that question, Eric. If you don't mind, give us a quick update. What is happening now with the safe transition plan?
Oh yeah. At the moment, for the last 2 years, we have been dealing with a lot of different changes, last minute changes and so on. So now we just gotta work with our best knowledge and deal with anything that we possibly can. If I may just share with you, starting with a little bit of our future since the 5th of February. Reopening day has been turned down. And now our current international border arrangement and domestic arrangement have been affected. So I probably will give everyone a little bit heads up what's going to happen after the 5th of February. For those people who are actually trying to get their G2G pass arranged at the moment, please hold on to your application if you are traveling after the 5th of February coming into Perth. The main reason being G2G pass system is being modified at the moment. A lot of new criteria, question, requirement will be fit into the system questions. And I believe the system will be up and running for those people who want to come in after the 5th of February, will be ready starting from 1st of February. So hold on to your application until the 1st of February if you can. Because at the moment they are really, really busy at the moment. So handling all the new application. And in a matter of fact, the data show we were expecting about 20,000 passenger arrival for the first 2 weeks after the 5th of February. But now, unfortunately, everything has been changed. So yeah, a lot of people looking at the screen right now, I think you are probably one of them being affected. So deal with the fact that how we're gonna manage it. Okay, so if I may start with the slide, please. This is just a little bit introduction. Thank you. Very delighted to be here tonight, invited by Leanne. And IQI is just such a great platform. And yeah, so yeah, in a matter of fact, will be the last speaker of the year of the ox, isn't it?
Very special indeed.
Yeah. All right then. All right, if I may have the next slide, and I'll just run through a few things. After the 5th of February, international arrival cap unfortunately will remain at 265 passenger weekly arrival cap, meaning our hotel quarantine system will be still under stress. A lot of international airlines might not be able to bring in as many as what they want the passenger. I think if I'm not mistaken, on average is anywhere between 30 packs to 50 packs per flight on a weekly basis. So they got to share the cap amongst all the operating airlines. At the moment, if I'm not mistaken, Singapore Airlines is and Scoot one of those daily operating airline to WA. Apart from Qatar Airways, unfortunately, some of the Chinese carrier like Cathay Pacific from Hong Kong apparently has been stopped due to the Hong Kong government new regulations for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So got to be more patient with it. Apart from that, have got to have your G2G pass for both international arrival and domestic arrival. And with the new arrangement, instead of having 14 days in the hotel, the government will introduce a 7+7 arrangement. So meaning if your arrival first 7 days, if you tested negative twice for your first 7 days of your hotel quarantine, you may be able to go home and continue with your 7 remaining days quarantine at the suitable premises if eligible. What is suitable premises? Say, for example, if you are going to be living, if your family member, girlfriends, boyfriends, or even any roommate that you're sharing with, that considering might not be a suitable premises because you are actually mixing with other people. So what it will happen is the best solution is to either to inform those people in the same premises to move out to their friends, to other friends, just to allow you to have can be a self-isolation premises to yourself. Then other people can continue to serve like sending food, other things that you need, continue to, rather than they have to be voluntarily quarantine themselves together with you. I know some certain family might be willing to do so, like husband and wife. Yeah, well, I'm just gonna quarantine 7 days with my wife. Yeah, I think some family are willing to do that. So, but just a choice between the two options people can take.
Eric, may
And
I ask? Yeah,
sure,
sorry to interrupt. May I ask,
yeah,
can that individual choose to do 14 days hotel quarantine if
yeah,
they
that
couldn't
can.
find any place?
At the moment, I don't have that information,
Mm,
confirmed information, but then I would say this can be requested.
yeah,
If they arrive at the hotel,
yeah.
and they can certainly talk to the WA police or the hotel and
Mm,
requesting if they can stay on for
mm,
further 7 days, rather than they have to find a suitable place, isolate by themselves, or even some people asking me whether I can just rent a room somewhere like Airbnb, those kind of thing for further
mm,
7 days self quarantine. I think this is a good question to the government as well,
mm,
and whether or not, because it can create some form of inconvenience as well as risk to the community. Yeah, because
mm,
as you know, yeah, the proper quarantine is always be a 14 days. But if they
mm.
can go home early and they have to serve their second half of the 7 days, is it going to be a safe protocol to do so?
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
yeah. Thank you for
So
that.
yeah, so once they are home, if the household member, you need to be tested as well. But mainly the applicant or the passenger herself, testing must be done on day 1, day 6, day 9, and day 12. And the household member must be tested on day 12 together with the applicant. Use of the G2G Now app becoming very important part of the process. Basically, it's just a tracking device. So the WA police will know exactly your movement, whether you are doing the right thing, staying home, isolating yourself. And with the domestic arrival, a little bit different in terms of the requirement. You got to be triple dose if you are eligible. Say, for example, if you have got a friend or relative or a family member coming back from Sydney or Melbourne or even Adelaide, and triple dose is required. If you are not yet eligible for your triple dose, you might be exempted with this criteria. On the other hand, the red test within 24 hours has been implemented after the 5th of February. So meaning you do not require a PCR test, but instead of PCR test, you can do a rapid antigen test within 24 hours of your scheduled flight. And then after that, you will need to do a full 14 days of a mandatory home quarantine or a suitable premises once again. Okay. And then upon your arrival, your first 48 hours, you must have your first PCR test done. And together with your family member, if they are isolating in the same premises. On day 12, also before the end of 14 days quarantine, you need to be tested 2 days before you are being released, basically. Okay, once again, those are the current requirements for the G2G pass. I will explain a little bit further in terms of what is required to provide to apply for your G2G pass at a later screen. Okay, if I may share the next screen, please. Okay, this is the, there are actually two types of vaccination certificate you need to provide. And on the left-hand side is basically for the domestic use when entering venues or business premises. And this can be downloaded via your MyGov app, linked to your Medicare application, and then you can download from there. But on the right-hand side, there's a different type of vaccination certificate. What it is just what we call international travel vaccination certificate. And what is different between the two is obviously you can see a big square on the right-hand side image. And this QR code is actually for verification. This particular QR code can only be read by a certain app, what we call DNS. I can actually show you what you can download. You can be amazed to people that you have watched this show at the moment.
Extra party skill, hey?
Yeah, this is just inside info. If you have got this VDS-NC scanner, and then you can actually read this particular QR code. But be careful, because once you have got this app, you can basically read anybody's QR code. And what it does is all their information, name, date of birth, and even passport number will be displayed on your phone. So just to be aware of, don't let people just simply scan your QR code. Okay, it's just like you could be naked. Yeah. So
Technology is amazing these days, isn't it? Yeah.
that's right. That's right. So if I may have the next slide, please. How you gonna get your international travel certificate? That is the official document when you're traveling overseas in the future. Again, if you are local Australian or resident of Australia, and you can basically go into your Medicare account and link your passport into your app. There is some outlining the step-by-step on my screen here. Sign into my MyGov account, go to your Medicare and proof of your COVID-19 vaccination quick link, and then press the button and request a certificate. And then select your name and next. Just be reminded, you need to key in the first name on the first name box as per exactly same as what is appear on your Medicare card. Say, for example, my name is Eric H. Lee, and your first name really need to put in Eric H instead of just Eric. Otherwise, the system might not pick up, it become an error message. Okay, just be aware of exactly when you're doing this, have your Medicare card in front of you, so you will not make a mistake. Okay, and for those of you watching now, if you happen to be an overseas student, or it's a working holiday, or even if you're holding a working visas in Australia, unfortunately you are not able to download those certificates. You need to go to Services Australia, contact them, and what we call AIR, not Australian Immunization Register. You need to contact them and have that arrangement done on a manual basis. Together with this information, for those of you are coming back from overseas and have your vaccination done overseas in the past, and you can also contact them to have your vaccination certificate verified, rectified, and then updated into your Medicare record. Then they will be able to generate Australian versions for you. Okay. All right. So may I have the next slide, please? Yeah. And this is the video that I'm going to show you how you can obtain your international travel certificate. Yeah, if you can play the video, that would be great. Thank you. It's going to be 1.5 minutes. All right, so this is a very handy video. If any one of you have missed anything, what we have discussed earlier, feel free to drop me an email or contact IQI people to get our contact. So if I may have the next slide, please. Okay, so if I can just, may I explain further what is really a G2G pass? G2G, a lot of people might not be aware, it stands for good to go. And what is required when you submit an application, you need to have those documentation in place. Any missing document, you unfortunately will get a reject. And they will just send you an unfortunate, it's an unsuccessful application, and then you got to reapply. So what you need to have that ready in terms of the digital copy is your passport, travel exemption if you are non-resident, your Australian visas, your vaccination certificate, minimum of 2 doses for international traveler, and also with a booster if you are traveling within domestic, if you are eligible. And then you got to show the proof of your suitable premises for self-quarantine. Unfortunately, if you are unable to prove any of those things, you might be difficult to get approval of the G2G. That is, you will hear a lot of people, oh, I always get declined, I always get reject, because it's insufficient supporting document being submitted. And the next document you need is a driver's license. On it, you will see your proof of your resident address. And sometimes they might even need to see your utility bill, just proving you are living in WA and you are Western Australian. Proof of your workplace, sometimes it might be required just to prove you are actually working in WA. Why they need all this? It's just to filter out a lot of people might be visiting friends or family, but they are resides in Sydney or Melbourne or Adelaide or Queensland.
Mm-mm.
Um, and just to mention one last thing, when you are coming from overseas and you are happen to transit East Coast, Sydney, Melbourne, or Adelaide or Queensland, you need to be very mindful to obtain an accommodation proof. Um, you need to have either a hotel booking because basically they will not let people to come in the first 14 days upon arrival into Australia if you are transiting from Sydney, Adelaide, or Melbourne in East Coast, basically, any other states. Um, if you are not able to provide any proof, then I would suggest you to provide them with Commonwealth, what do you call that, the Commonwealth Statute Declaration,
Mm.
and have your witness sign and then proof of your accommodation. Say, for example, if you are staying with your auntie's house or uncle's house in Sydney, and you just need to prove you are staying there and by producing these legal documents when you apply. Otherwise, you just got no other way of proving where you have been for the last 14 days if you are transiting East Coast into WA.
Mm.
Okay.
Eric, I have a kind of like a random question. Say if
Mm.
when I put in my G2G pass application, I put down an address for self quarantine,
Yep.
a address, and then things change, and I needed to or I want to change the premises for self quarantine. Am I allowed to do that or?
You mean during your 7 days quarantine or the full 14 days?
Um, yeah, the
Uh,
7 days. Say because
you
when
are
you
not allowed to change
mm,
accommodation during the
mm,
14 days.
yeah,
The main reason being uh, with the G2G application, they will double check with you again your
mm,
premises, whether you have anybody staying in the same premises,
mm,
whether or not you, basically, they are trying to avoid you moving around.
correct, makes
The
sense.
only
Yeah,
thing you can go out with the mask on, is the only place you can go is to do your COVID test, PCR test on those days that you require to do so.
mm,
But I believe you can actually request for people to visit your premises to do a PCR test, and they can knock on your door and they can do it there. But
yeah,
it's subject to availability
yeah,
if they have got enough resources to handle that part of it as well.
yeah.
Mm,
Thank you. Yeah.
all right. So yeah, feel free to ask me any other question in relation to G2G pass.
Mm,
It is very complicated process. And when people hear G2G, is the big chunk of block barrier. Yeah, this is
yeah,
the real barrier of how we're gonna come into WA. All
yeah.
right. Yeah. Okay.
It's there
So
for
if
a reason,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but make our WA safe for the last two
Mm-mm.
years. Mm.
Certainly, certainly. Yeah. So it sounds like there is a lot of bit and pieces need to be done before people want to move, like come in here. Um, for international traveler who is actually planning to come, do you have any tips and suggestion that what they should be doing or?
Okay. At the moment, Singapore Airlines still doing the repatriation flight. We call it Mercy flight,
Mm,
chartered by Department of Foreign Affairs. And at this stage, I think they have two flights in February. One is on the 3rd of February, one is on the 24th of February. But the repatriation flight, unfortunately, is not directly into WA, and it
mm,
will go up to Darwin. You will be required to stay and quarantine at the Howard Spring facility, quarantine
mm-mm.
facility for 14
Yeah,
days. And after that, it's really up to WA police to see whether you will be granted an exemptions. You will be given a certificate from the Howard Spring Quarantine Center because this is a government facility.
Mm,
And upon arrival, the WA police will assess you, will ask you whether you have been any other spots. But unfortunately, every other state in Australia considered as an extreme risk to WA at the current moment. So they will probably still need to make you stay another 14 days at home.
mm-mm.
Yeah. And you just got to go back
And,
and look at my reference. You got to do those 4 PCR tests.
mm-hmm.
That's right,
And
during your home quarantine.
yeah. And all those information that Eric shared just then can be found on the government website. And of course, if they contact you directly, you will be able to provide that sort of
Yeah.
information as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apart from just a little bit of hint, apart from
Mm,
repatriation flight to
mm,
Darwin and then come down to WA, that repatriation flight unlikely it will be cancelled because it's kind of guaranteed by the Department of Foreign Affairs it will go
mm,
ahead. And I
mm,
don't think it can be impacted by any other reason that can be cancelled.
mm,
So far, I haven't seen anything has been cancelled so far. And but on the other hand, if you're thinking of I still better go come straight to WA. At this present moment, you will find very difficult to come in because of the quarantine cap. I mean the up to only 265 weekly arrival allowed internationally directly into WA Perth Airport.
mm-mm.
Um, then you just gotta keep an eye out to see if there is any cancellation. But for the last past 2 weeks, I have been very busy answering a lot of people really panicking. Even myself is panicking. I don't know what to
Yeah.
do, and I don't know what to tell people.
Mm.
Uh, Basically, the decision has been turning the whole thing upside down. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mm.
a lot of people have kind of planned for that day and then book ticket, organize everything, and that come like a little surprise.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And,
hopefully,
mm,
yeah, things could change again anytime soon, and then our government will relax a little bit further. Why the government are doing 7+7 instead of 14 days in the hotel? Obviously, they want to let people go home a little bit sooner,
mm,
and they
mm.
will leave a little bit more the traffic flow a little bit more quicker.
Yeah.
So meaning instead of 265 cap, they probably can handle a little bit more international arrival in that way because
Mm-mm.
they let people go home 7 days in advance.
Yeah, which is nice. At
That's
least it
right.
feel like a little bit shorter instead of the full 14 days. Yeah.
That's
And
right.
yeah, Eric, just a couple of days ago, I think there is a news announcement about international student who is planning to return. So that sounds like there is a new pathway or new ways that international student is able to come back to Western Australia to continue the study. Do you have any update on those?
Yes. Uh, Overall, federal government, which is Department of Home Affairs, have been giving a lot of students returning to
Mm,
Australia, and different states have different policies. Yeah, what you heard is correct. I think WA government have relaxed that overseas student policy, allowing them to come back. And
nice.
what we call that one is international student arrival plan, and
Mm-mm,
they can actually approach Home Affairs to get participation. But I know it's got to be done stage by stage. They cannot open
mm-mm.
the door and allowing every international student to return. And
Yes.
I think tertiary student, university student, PhD student, medical student will have
Yeah.
their own priority to come in first.
Yeah.
But then you never know. Try to apply for your own exemption online.
Mm,
If you won't, you don't know where to apply, we can guide you where to apply for your
mm-mm,
exemption to come back to Australia.
mm-mm,
And then once you have got your exemption granted, then you can arrange your tickets, your
mm-mm.
accommodation, and you can starting to talk to your school and all that. So yeah, planning ahead.
That will
Okay.
actually bring me to my next question about the service that Oswald can provide. So, Eric, if you don't mind, just give us some idea roughly what sort of thing can you do to help our traveler who is planning to come in, whether it's international student or people
Mhm.
that actually the Western Australian who is returning, like planning to return home. What sort of thing can you do to help them to come back?
We can basically handle any travel requirement that is required. Travel exemption, we can give you a hand,
Mm,
as well as Australian travel declaration, which is required to be completed within within 7 days of your schedule into Australia.
mm,
And G2G pass, we can help
yeah,
you to handle that part as well if you're having
yeah.
difficulty. We have got a lot of people coming to us because they have got the language problem. Yeah, so
Mm,
we're just gonna give them a hand and how to arrange everything in order to make it reality
yeah.
for them.
Yeah, just like everything else, isn't it? Like if you can have a professional who has done this on a regular basis to help you with the application, will make your life so much easier, and then the success rate is probably much higher as well. Because like what you
Mm,
said, things are being changed on regular basis. Sometimes it's so hard to keep up with all the new rules. So
yeah,
having someone like yourself who know the rules regularly and done the application probably like 100 million times, so it's going to be handy. Yeah. So
yeah.
just quickly wondering if you have a contact detail that you can share with us.
Yep.
I think we
By
do have
showing the
contact
next slide, I
on
think that
screen.
is the
Yeah.
all right. So the contact details is on the screen right now. I think a lot
Mm,
of you, if you are living in WA for quite some time, probably were familiar with us.
yes.
Oswald Travel, and we have got the phone number on the screen right now and our email, our locations where you can find us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for your future travel, I just want to touch a little bit on that as well.
Yeah.
Again, for your future travel, if you don't mind going back to one slide before,
Mm-mm.
and we call it future travel management. Just ensure your current passport is still up to date. It's good to use. You got to have 6 month validity on it. And a lot of people might not be aware. Oh, I didn't know because I haven't looked at my passport for the past 2 years.
I know, right?
I come across a few cases where people already booked their ticket, and then usually we do our check, and then
Mm,
oh your passport had just expired or just about to expire. So those
mm-mm,
kind of things it does pop up to our attentions.
mm.
And on the other hand, do check your destination requirement. What do you need to do in order to enter to those countries that you require to enter? And also transit hub. Like if you are transiting in Singapore, you might need to know what they require in order for you to transit in the third countries. For example, Singapore or Malaysia or even Hong Kong, etc. Yeah, they might have a different health protocol in place. Yeah, but
Mm-mm,
definitely, I think majority of the third country they will require you to have fully vaccinated certificate to be able to board the flights and transit the country and make everybody safe. Mm.
mm-mm.
All right. And don't
Oh,
forget your
very useful.
vaccination certificate. It's very
Yeah.
important document in the future.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think that's about it for this evening. And thank you, the world, and thank you, Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, or whatever it might be. Yeah. But I'm just feel a bit sad that see so many family friends being separated for the last 2 years, and they are
Mm-hmm.
really eager to be reunited. Yeah, so I'm just hoping
Mm.
within my ability I can do a little bit more to
Yeah.
help our community. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Eric. Like all the little points and tips that you bring up today, you brought up today, they are very helpful and very useful. And I think most importantly, and now that we know that you're here, so for people that who are planning to come back, and find that the change of rules, the regular update, is too complicated to handle, please engage Eric
Yeah,
and
feel
his
free to call
team.
me.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm sure the service will be, will definitely make your life a little bit easier and make the planning to return home a little bit more smooth. And yeah, so if you miss out on the contact detail, feel free to get in touch with us at IQI Australia. We're more than happy to pass Eric contact detail to you or pass yours to Eric. Yeah. So is there anything else that you want to add in, Eric, before we wrap up the evening? Is there anything else that you want to add in, Eric? No?
Yep.
Yep.
No. All
And
good.
yep, all good. I just had a quick look through on the chat room just then, and my colleague just hinted me as well.
Mm-hmm.
At this stage, from my platform, I haven't seen any question, but maybe we have missed your question from a different platform. But don't worry, if we seen it, we will get back to you. So once again, thank you very much, Eric, for spending the last an hour with us and sharing your knowledge with us. We really appreciate that. And I would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a very happy Lunar New Year for next week.
Mong
So,
hỷ
and
pha tròi.
thank you. And
Yeah.
while I'm here, just quickly, in 2 weeks' time, in a fortnight, we are going to bring Phuket to our audience here. So, yeah, holiday, Phuket, make us think of holiday, although we can't
That's
fly
right.
now. But yeah, Phuket is a beautiful place, a place to invest or to, do whatever. Yes. So if
Yeah.
you would like to find out a little bit more about investing in Phuket, next week, no, not next week, in 2 weeks' time, we are going to talk about Phuket. Yeah. Thank
Wonderful. Yeah.
you. Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much, Lian, IQI. Yeah.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Enjoy your weekend.
Yes.
Bye.